Okay, we're going to be converting improper fractions to mixed numbers and mixed numbers back to improper fractions today. First, I want to just kind of look at what those types of fractions are. So there's three types of fractions. The first one you guys are most familiar with, that's a proper fraction. Okay, so a proper fraction means that the numerator is less than the denominator. Or in other words, the top number is smaller than the bottom number. An improper fraction is just the opposite of that. The numerator is greater than the denominator, or the top number is bigger than the smaller number. And that's the example here, improper fraction, in the purple. A mixed fraction, or sometimes we call it a mixed number. Okay, it's the same thing. Either one, you can call it either one. A mixed number, it has a whole number and a proper fraction put together. Okay, so you can see that in the example in the green. The top number, just in any fraction, okay, the top number, the numerator is the number of parts that we have. Okay, the denominator or the bottom number is the parts the whole is divided into. So in other words, if we have 3/5 here, we have divided our pizza into 5 slices, okay, and maybe we ate 3 out of those 5, so we have a fraction of 3/5. That's the number of parts we have. We can use either an improper fraction or a mixed fraction to show the same amount. So looking at the example of the pizza here, we have 7/4, so that is an improper fraction, okay, or we could say as a mixed fraction, we could say that is equal to 1 3/4. And that probably makes more sense to us in everyday life, okay, having 1 3/4 of a pizza. If we look at the pizza, we have a whole pizza to the left, and then we have 3/4 of a pizza right here, right? So those are basically equal to each other. So we're going to convert today, okay, we're going to go from a mixed number or an improper fraction to a mixed number. We're going to go from a mixed number back to an improper fraction. Okay, so looking at converting improper fractions to mixed numbers or mixed fractions first, these are the steps that you're going to do. First, you're going to divide the numerator by the denominator. Then you're going to write down the whole number answer, and then write down any remainder above the denominator. So in other words, that's going to be your numerator. So if I had my improper fraction was going to be 11/4. Okay, so we're going to divide the numerator by the denominator. 11 is our numerator, 4 is going to be our denominator. Okay, so if we put that in and divide it. Okay, so how many times can 4 go into 11? Okay, just twice. It's going to be 2 times 8, or 2 times 4 equals 8, so 8 down here. We're going to subtract those two and figure out what our remainder is. So 11 minus 8 is going to give us 3. Okay, so how could we use these numbers to write that as a mixed number? Okay, so this top number here is always going to be your whole number. So if we just fill this in here, let me write kind of your fraction. So this is going to be your whole number here. Our denominator is always going to stay the same. So right now, our denominator is 4, okay, and that's always going to be our denominator in the other part of this whenever we convert it. So we already know that our denominator is going to be 4, okay, and then we can look at what our remainder is. Okay, our remainder is always going to be the numerator. So 2 3/4. So 11/4. 11/4 is going to be the same thing as 2 3/4. And we just converted that. Let's try one more example here. Let's do blue here. So let's try 6/4 and convert that into a mixed number. So again, we just take our top number divided by our bottom number. So 6 divided by 4. Okay, and what is that going to give us? So how many times can 4 go into 6? Just once, because 2 times 4 is 8, so that's too big. Okay, so 4, we're going to subtract those. What's our remainder going to be? We're going to have 2 left over. So again, our top number is going to be our whole number. Okay, so we have 1 as our whole number there. And then our remainder, okay, so remember our remainder here is going to be our numerator. And then our denominator stays the same. Our denominator was 4, right? So it's going to be 4 over here. So 1 and 2 over 4. And if we get a fraction like this, 1 and 2 over 4, 2 over 4 can be simplified, right? So we can say that is, we learned how to simplify. So what number can go into both these numbers? We could divide both these numbers by 2, 2 and 4, right? So we got 2 and 4. That could be, divide both those and we get 1 and 1/2. So this should really be your answer there after you simplify. All right, converting, let's go up to converting mixed fractions to improper fractions. Okay, so our steps are going to be these right here. Again, so we have 3 steps. We're going to multiply the whole number part by the fraction's denominator. And then we're going to add it to the numerator and then write the result on top of the denominator. Okay, so let's look at an example here. Let's take our mixed fraction is going to be 3 and 2/5. Actually, let me rewrite that. So if I'm converting, I like to kind of separate those out. So 3 and 2/5. Okay, and so what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the whole number part by the fraction's denominator. So this times this, and you can kind of get in the habit of writing your times right here between these two. And then what are we going to do? We're going to add the numerator. So after that, we're going to add the numerator. So if we do 3 times 5, what is that going to equal? That's going to equal 15. Okay. On this, we can already write our fraction out here. We know what is our denominator. Our denominator is 5, right? So this right here is our denominator. So our denominator is not going to change. It's going to be 5 over here. So we have 15 plus, so we did 3 times 5, and then we're going to add the 2. So 15 plus 2 is going to give us 17. Okay, so we converted 3 and 2/5 to an improper fraction. It's going to be 17 over 5. Okay, let's try one more just to kind of show you guys here. Let's try 2 and 1/4. So again, we're going to multiply here and add our top number. Our denominator, we can already go ahead and write as 4 because that's not going to change. Okay, so 2 times 4, okay, is going to be 8 plus 1, okay, and we get 9. So 9 over 4.